I want to say, let's say Neville is up here, but someone else is down here. If you need to affirm to get to that level, affirmation till you get to that level of consciousness, whatever you have to do to wrestle that down and pin it to the ground and win is what you got to do. So wherever you need to start, you need to start affirmations, and then you move into the consciousness and the embodiment and the excitement of it all appearing and decreeing at your command. Hello, and thank you for joining me. We have been just doing amazing things with our prayers for Lahaina, all of Maui, Oahu, the Big Island, and the whole world. We have been lifting up the whole world because the needs are out there. So we start every video with that. Now, we were doing a little celebrating, yay, because we completed Neville Goddard's At Your Command, and it was a blast. But what we're going to do now is we're going to boil down, slow roll, walk through some of the big takeaways. Okay, so we're going to start off with our prayer for Lahaina, Maui, Oluwalu, Kula, and the whole island of Oahu. The whole island of Maui, the Hawaiian people, the locals, all the people of Oahu, the Big Island, Ni'ihau, Koho'olawe, Lanai, Molokai. I didn't forget anybody. Let's just hold up Loihi. Let's just hold up all the Hawaiian Islands in our hearts and minds aligned. And then we're going to also be holding up the world. We're sending out love, healing, provision, peace in the Middle East, throughout the Pacific, China, Korea, Canada, just United States, worldwide, Palestine, oh my goodness, with everything, Israel, with everything. We're just going to be lifting everyone up because there's just a lot of grief, but there's also a lot of good things happening. So we're going to lift our prayers up for these: healing, provision, peace, joy, the good things. Okay, so here we go. Just lift them up to God, cast them to God, for God cares for us. Don't take that on. Just allow the universe, God's universe, it's got all these laws and has all these timings. But what we're doing is we're taking a bold, positive, loving step forward to bring an energy that's going to be helpful, not divide, not destruction, not despair. We are the change agents. So there we go. Okay, and we know the dimensions are stacked. So what you do does matter in each and every dimension. So if you think you're living large here, very good. Let's continue to live large in all dimensions of time by living in our higher order values. Okay. And I love it if you're living large. Many of you are, and it's a pleasure to be in your company. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to hit up At Your Command, Neville Goddard. Law of assumption, feeling is the secret. No one to change but you and me. Okay, so we're going to just hit up some lessons, but I'm going to ask you. You ready? I'm going to ask you a question. If the world were at your command, what would you want from it right now? Do you know? Okay, I'm going to ask that one more time. If the world were at your command, what would you want from it right now? Okay. Many of you know, but if you don't know, now you're gonna know. Okay, spend time in that arena of self. Do you want wealth? How about fame or fortune? Would you like a new house, a nursing degree to become an attorney? Would you like health? Would you like to become a world-class dancer? Cha-cha-cha. You want to be the best mother or father in the world? You want to be the top female entrepreneur of the century? What is it? What is it? The top male entrepreneur of the century? Well, what is it that you want? We want to define that. So I'm asking you this so you can do that little bit of inner work to figure out, because it's going to help you understand what is outside of you. What have you manifest, and what are you going to do about it? If you don't like what you see, you just change yourself within. So I want you to know that anything is possible. There are no limitations to your desires except for yourself. So we are our limits. Now, we are holding higher order values. We do not hurt ourselves or each other with the tools. We do not have desires that we know are going to cause harm to self or others. We are taking this higher order value way of being, putting out good things through our rockets of desire, as Abraham would say. So anything is possible, and we want to bring forward all things positively possible that will help all of humanity, that will help the animals, that will help the stars, the planets, the everything. Now, it's not like, actually it is like what you do matters. So when you're projecting that good rocket of desire and you're manifesting beautiful things, you are not just affecting yourself, but you're creating a beautiful heaven on earth. So know that all things are possible. Okay, so knowing all things are possible, what is very precisely, more precisely, okay, your thoughts, your assumptions, and your concept of self are precisely the boiled down layer. So sometimes you look at things, you're like, what the heck, am I getting this? And when you really start to do that inner work, you start to see, okay, this came from this thought, this came from this assumption, this came from this concept of self. So I want to ask you again, what kind of thoughts are you thinking? What kind of things are you assuming? And what is your concept of self? And I'm here to let you know, I'm here to encourage you that if you don't like what you see or you feel or you think, it can be changed. It can be overcome. It all starts with you. You can change the mirror. Okay? I'm looking at the man in the mirror and the woman in the mirror. Ooh. I'm asking us to change our ways. Okay? When we change our way, what radiates out is beauty, is health, is wealth for all, food for all, music for all, dance, whatever it is. So we covered this in this book, At Your Command, and it has been a blast. So it contains, so Neville, this is like his first work. It was done in 1939. It's considered to be his first work on what is today called manifestation, or higher awareness and practical metaphysics. So in it contains all the knowledge you need regarding manifestation. So 1939, think about that. It's 2024, like, wow, we are moving there. We're going to be in 2039 before you know it. So because we're going to be there, I want you to ask yourself, what are my thoughts? What are my assumptions? What are my self-concepts? And I want you to be determined right here and right now, as Reverend Ike would say, that I'm going to be different in a year from now. I'm going to look at February 2025, and I am going to be a different person. I'm going to be a transformed person. Whatever it is you're trying to manifest. So this is our first lesson that we're going to be hitting up. And I'm just going to tell you that this book is for everyone who wants to shift to a better way of life. Neville is about thoughts and assumptions and making them work for us and not against us. Neville was as we continue to go, like the story where Abdul just slammed the door in his face and said, "You are in Barbados." Like when I start to find myself going, I'm working on taking this negativity diet or complaining diet or whatever, when you get the news and all the stuff, slam the door in it like Abdullah did to Neville. And what happened? Neville ended up in Barbados. So this book is for everyone who wants to shift to a better life. That would be all of us. Neville is all about thoughts and assumptions and making them work for us and not against us. And when you're studying Neville's story, Neville Neville worked it. He worked these principles, and then it became who he was, who I am. It became his consciousness, and then it radiated out. Everyone loved to be with Neville. So, teaching point 1, at your command, teaching point 1. Are you ready? Your thoughts count. What? My thoughts count. Your thoughts count. Our thoughts count. Neville refers to this as what we now know as manifestation. And he clearly states that everything in your life has happened because of what you decree. So I want to politely ask a question. We also have stories, but this is question. I want to ask you, what have you decreed for yourself? And if you don't know, that's okay, but today is the day. Boom. You're kaboom. You walked in the room and you know what you are decreeing for yourself. You know what your self-concept is. You know what your thoughts are, and you know what your assumptions are. You're going to know. No one has appeared without you decreeing, because you have always done so and will continue to do it. No one thing. So there's not a thing that's in our environment, within ourselves, that we haven't decreed. When we do these things, this is a big part of the work, taking responsibility. We always want to take credit for what's the good part, but when the hard part or the bad part comes, or the perceived bad part, or the shadow side, we don't want to own it. And there's processes within, but no one thing is going to appear without you decreeing. So do not get beat down by this. Okay, if you do not like what is going on within you and around you, we can change it. So what we allow, it's there. Don't beat yourself up. So like an athlete will learn a skill and will practice and focus and practice and focus and practice and focus until they perfect it. It is the same thing with our metaphysical journey. This is the same thing with getting our consciousness where we want it to belong, like where we want our assumptions to be, where we want our thoughts to be, where we want our self-concept to be. If it's not where you want it, and if it is where you want it, and you're looking to upgrade, keep going. I encourage you, don't ever stop. Don't let anybody dull your sparkle. Rise as far as you can. Okay, you're not called here to shrink in the shadows of others. We are actually all called to play big and play full out, and to be full out, and to bring the magnificence of our gifts forward. So God did not make no junk. So you are here on purpose for a purpose. And if you needed a sign on your visions, goals, purposes, acts of service, dreams, get going. It's no more time to wait. There ain't no placeholders on the planet. You got to get going. So if you have things in your life that you think, oh, I didn't decree that, take a deeper look. And it might be generationally passed through, like, maybe your mindset is from your, parents or your siblings or the church or the community or whatever it is. And you have to say, ooh, okay, this is why this is here, and I'm going to focus and I'm going to change it. So Neville discusses a view in regards to the power of affirmations. Okay, so I'm just going to put this out there. Neville states that speaking out loud affirmations are hopeless because to truly manifest, affirming needs to be in the consciousness. Heart and mind align, and feeling is the secret. Okay, so, but I want to acknowledge, now, Neville is very, he definitely soared, but what I want to say is that I know that some of us come from, some of us come from environments where we never heard words of affirmation or positive affirmations or, things. So sometimes, depending on where you are in the matrix or whatever, you actually need to work on positive affirmations to have a grip so that you can decree and embody the consciousness. So I want to encourage you that if you are kind of like, what the beep is a positive affirmation, then that is a sign that you're not going to always roll right into the consciousness. You may need to grip the positive affirmation and do the repetition. But like Neville says in the Bible, he clarifies that speaking out loud affirmations is vain repetition. Because if you're just like, I am skinny, I'm skinny, I'm skinny, and your whole being is like, hell no, I ain't. It's not in your consciousness, it's not resonating. We want to get to that point where, yes, I am skinny and I'm feel good, or whatever it is. And you feel like, yeah, that's who I am. This is my reality, not this kind of struggle bump thing. Struggle bump, struggle bump. We don't want to be doing that. But I do have to say that in my early stages, the first place that cracked it open for me was Louise Hay's positive affirmations. And as I began to do her affirmations, I realized, like, wow, first of all, I found her because I didn't even know what a positive affirmation is. And then when I started with the affirmations, it seemed a little silly. And then I started to realize, whoa, there is something my spirit is really crying out for. And then as I worked it, quote, vain repetitioned it, but as I worked the affirmations, they slowly cleaned and debrided away some of the harder, crusty parts of myself that just couldn't align. And then in time, those affirmations entered into my heart and mind align, and it just changed the way I felt about myself, and of course the way my life looked and the way it looks to this day. To this day, I will always be grateful for Louise Hay and the way that she spoke positively as a woman into my life, and there's many teachers as we come along our way, and my mom was a very strong woman who always prayed for her children and spoke positively into their lives. So I am just grateful for these women who have positively spoken into my life, because until I could accept it in the interior and make it my consciousness, that's when life really got exciting, and it continues to be exciting each day. So Neville says, what shapes your world is what you decree. In other words, your assumptions, your beliefs, and thoughts. So, question. What are you assuming and believing and thinking for yourself? We're kind of like layering over ourselves over and over and over. But sometimes you gotta ask questions more than once. Sometimes you need to affirm to get to that conscious state. But what Neville is pointing out, just positive affirmations, just affirming unless if you want to truly manifest it, it has to become part of your consciousness. And so I want to say, let's say Neville is up here, but someone else is down here. I want to say, if you need to affirm to get to that level, affirmation till you get to that level of consciousness. Whatever you have to do to wrestle that down and pin it to the ground and win is what you got to do. So wherever you need to start affirmations, and then you move into the consciousness and the embodiment and the excitement of it all appearing and decreeing at your command. Ain't no shame in the game. Get your faith weight up. Get your weight up in the faith department and know that all things are possible. So we're going to end this lesson 1. What was it? Your thoughts matter. Okay. We're going to end it with this beautiful quote. The very moment your claim is established to the point of conviction, the moment I begin to draw unto myself evidence of my claim. And of course, who is that? The ever beautiful Neville Goddard. I want to just say, Neville Goddard, we love you. We know that he is cheering us on from the ethers. You know it. So that would be our little discussion. We're going to cover a few points on At Your Command, and then we're going to move on to another one of Neville's work. So what is it? Number 1 point, your thoughts count. So thought good. Make your thoughts good. Build yourself a beautiful life. Decree yourself the most amazing life. Decree yourself a life of which you want to live in, because it's all at your command. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do like and subscribe. Leave your positive comments. I just want to let you know I'm praying for each and every one of you. So no numbing out, no self-harm, no suicide, none of these things. Jump into Neville and just get to that next level, Neville. You can do this. All things are possible. And I just want to let you know that, I want to let you know I'm very thankful for each and every one of you and your support here on my channel. I'm thankful to Brian Scott, Bree Seeley, and Benzie Darling at Brand My Tube. And I just want to thank you. I'll be seeing you in the next video, but may you be in and at peace.